Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment by giving on the contribution page at our website at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, where you can hear from God. Daily Divine Direction, to keep us on the course that God has purposed for our lives and to ensure that we experience the fullness of God in all of our lives. I'm going to say to all of our listeners and viewers, I have announced this previously. I'm going to continue to announce because we're expanding our platforms once again. You know that we're Facebook Live. You know that we're YouTube Live. Well, we will also be going on RadioFreeNetwork.com, and we will be expanding our broadcast to internet radio. So you, wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe, you will have the opportunity to tune in on whatever platform is comfortable for you at any point throughout the day. You will be able to tune in. And of course, you can always go back and view the archives. We are archived on YouTube Live, and we are archived on our Facebook Live channel. So just make certain that you continue encouraging your family, friends, coworkers, and colleagues to tune in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that after listening to the broadcast for some time, you feel as though your family needs a bigger vision. And you want to know, how do you begin to develop a larger vision for your family? So let me begin by, first of all, saying to God be the glory. We thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment, and we thank you for tuning in daily to 3D. Now, having said that, I am always a supporter of people seeking a much larger vision for their lives and the life of your family. The problem that we often have is that we only want our vision to be as big as we can accomplish on our own. And the truth of the matter is we have to recognize that God is willing to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or think. But we first have to ask, and we first have to think about it. We have to make certain we know exactly what we desire in our hearts, so that if it's according to God's will and we delight ourselves in the Lord, He'll give us the desires of our heart. Now, here's what happens. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain, that he that reads it may run to it. You've got to recognize how important that statement really is. that I've encouraged everyone to write a 7-year plan, to write a 14-year plan, to write a 21-year plan, to write a 28-year plan, to write a 35-year plan. I've encouraged people to write a plan that will take you from faith to faith. It will take you from where you are right now to the place that God has appointed for your life. So think about it in these terms. If your vision only covers what you can accomplish by your own hand, it's really not large enough. And so now that you've identified the fact that you need a bigger vision for your family, here's what that looks like. You're going to, as I talk about writing a 7-year plan, you have to write out everything that you want to accomplish. Everything that you desire to accomplish. And know your why. Know why you want to accomplish what you desire to accomplish. Make certain that you are clear in your mind that this is what you want to accomplish and this is my reason for wanting to accomplish it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to write out everything that you desire to accomplish. You're going to write it out on a notepad. You know, I'm not even going to encourage you to type it out first. You can type it out afterwards so that you can then maybe even laminate it and hang it someplace in your home. But I'm going to encourage you to write it out by hand first. And the reason is because when we write down information, when we write down whatever it is we're trying to accomplish, when we write it out physically in our own handwriting, first of all, writing it down means we're going to take mental ownership of it. And second of all, if it's in your own handwriting, it makes it more personal. Because when you look at that document, you're going to know that it was written by you and it was written at a time that that's exactly what you desire to accomplish. If you type it out first, and then you can type it out later. But if you type it out first, the problem with that is you're just typing. And even though you know it's your words, at the end of the day when you're done, it's not personal. In your own handwriting, it becomes very personal. And then because it's your own handwriting, you have you to hold accountable. Now, it's great to have an accountability partner. So I have an accountability partner who is also my running partner, and we check in with one another just to make certain that we're getting our workouts in, make certain that we're getting our runs in, and then we look for a time that we might be able to run together. So, you know, of course, pandemic changed a lot of that, but now we're back to our normal routine of, I mean, we were always checking in even during the pandemic, but, you know, we weren't getting together to run, and now we have decided, okay, we're gonna find some time to get in some runs because now things are reopened. But we both have been running, but we would call one another or text one another to check in. Did you get your workout in today? Have you gotten out for a run today? So that's your own accountability partner. And you can have an accountability partner in the vision you have for your family. But when you write it down, you have taken ownership, mental ownership of it. And now it's real personal. It's real personal because it's in your own handwriting. And you're then going to find that you will hold yourself accountable for everything that you have listed for your family. What is it that you want to accomplish? Personally, what do you want to accomplish professionally? So, personally, do you want to buy a beach home? That's a personal thing. What steps are you going to take to accomplish that? Do you want to buy a new home? maybe not a beach house, but a new home. What steps are you going to take to accomplish that? Do you want to make certain that your children are involved in the family planning? That's something you need to write down. And schedule some time to do that in your own handwriting. Everything we do, we need to write the vision, make it plain. It did, and I know people will say, well, they didn't have computers in those days, so can I type it out? No, write it first, and then if you want to type it out so that it lasts for a long time, you can save it in the file, that's fine. But write it out first. Write it in your own handwriting so you make it personal. You take mental possession of it and you're ready to work that plan. Whatever that plan looks like. Are you ready to work that plan? And if you write it down, you're going to be ready to work it. If you don't write it down, you're not ready. That's just reality. A larger vision, what does that look like for your life? The larger vision is always going to look like you planning for your present, your future, the planning of the present and future for your children, and the planning in the present, present and the future of your grandchildren. That's all part of having a larger vision. And when we focus on that type of vision, we're not easily distracted by what society is doing and what pop culture is doing. We're more focused on getting to the place that God has appointed for our lives. And that's why you want to make certain that you are writing down your vision. But make it larger than just your present. Make it larger than just your future. Make it larger than just the future of the present and the future of your children. Make it larger for the generations to come. The Bible says unto the fourth and fifth generation. Now, sometimes God will take you beyond that because he will well, not sometimes. God's always going to exceed what we want to accomplish, but sometimes God will lead you to a place where you can get outside of your own family and start getting involved in the lives of others. In a way, not telling them what to do, but in a way that you can teach them how to build for succeeding generations, that they may continue the legacy of God. We want to make certain that we maximize the fullness of God in all of our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, nor have you been for the previous 90 days, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees will be included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that God is doing so many great things in your life. And you want to know, what can you do to ensure that you do not mess this up? So I've used that term myself. You don't want to mess up what God has done or what God is doing in our lives. So I will say this to you. What you want to do is focus your attention on maximizing the blessing. So every blessing that God has placed in your life, the life of your husband, your immediate family, your children, every blessing that God has placed in your lives. Focus your attention on maximizing that blessing. Don't focus your attention on the nonsense that goes on in our society today. Don't focus on your attention on things that are not going to enhance the quality of your life, or things that are going to maximize the fullness of God in your life. You don't want to focus your attention on those things. You want to focus on maximizing this blessing. Do not be distracted by outside influences. So one of the biggest problems when God is doing great things in our lives is that we get distracted by outside influences. We get distracted by the things of the world and people in the world. People who are in the world, distracting us from what God has purposed for us. So we have to make certain that we focus our attention every single day on maximizing the blessing. And what does that look like for us? So we have to maximize our personal life, the quality of our personal life. We have to maximize the quality of our professional life. We have to make certain that we are doing everything that we possibly can do within our own power to maximize that every blessing. No blessing wasted. No blessing squandered. Everything. There has to be a focus on maximizing every item that is blessed in our lives. So we have to say to ourselves, how can I do that on a daily basis? And the way to do that is to make certain that not 1 hour of the day is wasted. That every hour is being used for something, that's being allocated for some particular and specific purpose. That we can really look at the end of the day and say, these are all of the things that I've been able to accomplish today. And these things that I've accomplished have enhanced the quality of my life in some form. That has to be part of the focus. We waste a lot of time. Even people who try to manage their time. Time management is crucial in our lives, in maximizing our success and experiencing the fullness of God. So we have to say to ourselves, I cannot waste 1 hour of any given day. I don't even want to waste a minute. But there are going to be moments when a minute will go by. But if you start turning the minutes into multiple minutes, before you know it, you've wasted a quarter of an hour, you've wasted a half hour, you've wasted 3/4 of an hour, and before you know it, an hour is gone. And that is time that we'll never get back. So we have to focus on being more effective in the way we spend our time. And we have to really work to be more efficient with our time. So being effective means I'm getting great results. Being effective in everything we do means I'm getting great results. In my personal life, I'm getting great results in my professional life. And being efficient means that I'm wasting no time so that I have the opportunity to maximize my success. And that not only do I have the opportunity to maximize my success, but I have the opportunity to experience the fullness of God in my everyday life. And that I will eventually maximize the fullness of God So that has to be part of our daily focus. Eliminating the noise, eliminating the chatter, eliminating the distractions. We can't allow distractions to disrupt what we are trying to accomplish in our lives. But we have to focus to do that. And focus, I always say, is an acronym for following one course until successful, which means you're not getting distracted. We've got to first of all, reduce or eliminate distractions. So the distractions that you reduce is if you have minor children, those people who have minor children can only reduce distractions in our personal lives. You can't eliminate them because we have to focus on our children when they're minors. Those of us who are engaged parents focus on what we can do to improve the quality of our lives of our adult children also, but they're going to do what they want to do once they become adults. But the minor children, you can't eliminate that distraction because we have to focus some attention on our minor children. You can eliminate distractions from friends. You can eliminate distractions by setting some boundaries. Like, unless it's an emergency, once I have shut down for the night, I'm not taking any more calls. I'm not taking any more calls. I'm not answering any more emails. I'm not looking at any texts. I'm done. Once I've shut down for the night. Once I have taken my phone and placed it on charge on my vanity, I am not going to take any more calls. I'm not going to respond to any more emails, and I'm not going to respond to any more texts. And the reason is because it will distract me from getting a good night's rest. Well, it's the same thing during the day. Unless it's business related, or unless our children need something, that when I say our, meaning all of us, unless our minor children need something, it's a distraction. So you can eliminate the distractions. Now, I know people will say, well, what if your adult children contact you during the day? Well, my adult children are working, so they shouldn't be creating any distractions. And my adult children know that I'm working, so they're not going to try to become a distraction. And if you need something, then we can talk about it at the end of the business day. Simple as that. Because anything else is a distraction. And none of us need to be distracted. We need to be focused on accomplishing everything that God has purposed for our lives. So we have to, if you have minor children, eliminate the distractions by setting boundaries with everyone else. You know, children begin to understand, particularly when you're working at home, they now understand if the door is closed in the office, or if they see you on the phone, they know that you have a call. They have been taught not to distract us. Now, I don't have any minor children at home, but for those of you who do, you can reduce those distractions by teaching them when they can enter into your space when you're working and when they cannot. That's a teaching tool. And you can do that. But we can reduce those distractions. The outside distractions we can eliminate. We can eliminate them just by simply not responding to them. Not getting distracted from what's in front of us that must be done, that will allow us to experience a better quality of life. That's the good news. Let's make certain that we focus our attention on maximizing the blessings. And to God be the glory that God is doing great things in you. Many great things in your life. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Warrior Custom Golf. Times have changed. No need to spend big money for great golf clubs. Warrior Custom Golf believes that you should have the ultimate golf experience with high quality golf clubs that don't break the bank. If you go to warriorcustomgolf.com, you can order custom golf clubs if you are a golfer or if you know someone who is a golfer. And you can order directly from warriorcustomgolf.com. They will ship right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And Charles Tyrwhitt Golf, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Charles Tyrwhitt has golf attire. Any golf attire that you might need, go to ctshirts.com and type in the search bar golf, and everything, all the golf attire that Charles Tyrwhitt has available will pop up. You can order from ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are considering adopting a child since you want to be a parent, you want to have a child, and you are not married and you are not in a relationship. So here's the question that you have to ask yourself. So you want to know my thoughts on adoption. I think, and this is what you said in your communication, you want to know what's my thoughts on adoption. I believe that there are children who are in need of adoption, that God has appointed someone to adopt them. I believe that. However, in your case, you have to ask yourself, what's the hurry? You're 32. You have time to get in a relationship, and you have time to become pregnant and to give birth to a child. There's no reason to hurry. I get it. You know, there's a real thing when they talk about biological clocks. I get that. There are times in our lives when you, as a woman who would desire to be a mother, that you start feeling the need to become a mother. There are men who, just as women, who desire to become fathers. I get it. You have to ask yourself, what's your why? You have to ask yourself, is it just so that you can have a child, or is it because you want to adopt because you feel that there's some child out there who needs to be adopted? And in your case, it's just simply that you're ready to become a parent. What's the hurry? Meet someone, develop a relationship, get married, and have a child. Now you might say, well, Pastor, it's not, for everyone it's not that easy. Well, that is true. However, in your case, if you're patient and prepare yourself for what God has in store for you, God says that by 35, you will have become involved in a relationship. If you date with a purpose, you will be in a relationship with the person that God has appointed for your life. You will get married, and by 35, you will be pregnant. I should have said. But you will be a parent. You may decide that that's going to be your only child after having a pregnancy, but you will have a child. Be patient. Wait on the Lord, and God will fulfill His promise for your life. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money. at fijiwater.com. This is Earth's finest water. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you, and may God give you peace